Hey folks, Pops here from Bourbon and Banter, and today we're going to look at the X12 from StilL 630. This is the 12th release in their experimental collection, which means we're wrapping up the first year of what is going to be a 5-year journey with the fine folks over there. And this is not only a special release because it's the end of the first year, but it's also because it's a whiskey type style, if you will, that they've never made before in the distillery. So if you're a fan of Weller and things of that nature, this might just be a wheat deal for you to check out. Alright, my apologies for the pun, but it is a big deal for the folks down at StilL 630. This is their first ever wheat whiskey. What we have this month is actually 100% malted red winter wheat, and it's been aged in a number 3 char barrel, a 15-gallon barrel, like all the other ones, for about 14 and a half months, and bottled at 100 proof. And, you know, wheat, when it comes to bourbon, is a pretty desirable effect, right? Everyone, knows about Maker's Mark being made with wheat. They're familiar with, Weller. You say it first, Pappy Van Winkle, right? Wheated bourbons, where there's more wheat now as the flavoring grain instead of rye. But that's not what we're talking about here. This is actually 100% wheated whiskey. So if you're familiar with Bourbon wheat whiskey, that would be another fine example of this style of whiskey that's out in the market. But once again, it's the first time that StilL 630 has ever brought this to market. So let's go ahead and check it out. Now, I tasted this once before doing this review, and I let the whiskey open up for a little while, because one of the things that I'm being challenged with is, on the nose, I'm getting really, overwhelmed by the small barrel oak and spice that is a signature of StilL 630 whiskey, but usually is just a component of the aroma that I get from the barrel. And unfortunately, with this one, it's pretty much the predominant. It's really, really hard for me to pick out any other, notes on the nose. I mean, I think there's some vanilla and whatnot here, but it's just so, overdone by the spice and the barrel notes. And an alcohol note as well. And, wheat whiskey is more delicate. And takes a little bit more work to get it right. Anyone can make it, but to get it right takes a little bit more work. Very, very soft on the palate. Up front, it can really taste like wheat bread, if you will. Sort of bready, almost malty, like a biscuit, with a very thin vanilla caramel overtones. Very, very sweet. Almost like a maraschino cherry sweet, kind of like, almost like a medicinal cherry flavor, if you will. And then once again, you're slammed with more of that barrel oak and spice that you had on the nose. It's nice though that we're able to get some other flavors to pick out, to pick up over those barrel oak spice notes. The finish fades to the barrel and spice. It's a little tannic, so there's definitely some room for improvement. I think the balance in the finish, as you get into the finish, definitely goes more barrel. Now, once again, small barrels, those notes are going to be prevalent, especially on a young whiskey. So I would like to see this one age out a little bit more, because the flavors are just simply being overpowered. And quite frankly, I don't know if longer in that small barrel is the answer, or if this is one that's best left to putting in a larger standard sized barrel. Dave, if you're listening, watching, that would be great to see if you guys could do a larger barrel of this and give it some more time and see how it matures. Costly investment, I know, but it's a price for greatness, right? Yeah, I think if I have to look at the last 12 months, I think this one, unfortunately, is my least favorite, or the least ready to go. I mean, they're all just early stage experimental releases, right? Hence the name Experimental Collection. None of them are meant for prime time, but I think this one is going to need the most work to figure out how to bring the flavors forward in a way that makes sense, tones back the barrel. Now, let's keep in mind, it's also their first wheat whiskey. So in that regards, I didn't spit it out. I didn't turn my nose up at it. And for that alone, I think, once again, StilL 630 is sort of showing that they've got what it takes to put out whiskey and to improve upon it and to build upon it. So I'm eager to see what they do with this release. Yeah. So that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, let's take the feedback, let's grow from that, and let's see where they go. But looking back over 12 months, it's been a hell of a ride. David and his team down there at the distillery have done a phenomenal job of putting their craft to work, to putting taking a chance by putting these things out there, letting their fans and letting customers try them, taste them, provide feedback. And I know that they are feverishly taking in that input and putting it to work for future releases. All in all, a great first year. StilL 630 is holding their annual 630 Day this weekend, which is their yearly, or annual, I should say, celebration of the distillery, where they're going to have some special releases put out and just celebrate all of their loyal fans, family, friends. It's a great time for any of you guys watching there in the St. Louis area. I highly recommend that you get a ticket as quick as possible and come on down and enjoy the festival. There's gonna be a lot of fun stuff there to do. So like I said, some special releases. You can't get it anywhere else. But more importantly, you'll get a first class ticket to see what they're doing, how they're doing it, and hopefully you'll become a fan and help support them and they continue to grow. Because as we all know, while many of us don't think craft is ready for prime time, everyone was a craft distiller at some point. You know, Beam, Buffalo Trace, they all started at one point and had to learn their craft and had to build upon it. And I really see a great opportunity with distilleries like StilL 630 and others to listen, to learn, and to build. And they're going to have a very bright future with some really good stuff for us to enjoy for years to come. And once again, I think that really is the spice of life, that variety and those opportunities. And that, so support your local distillery if you're not in St. Louis and can't do it for StilL 630. And once again, grab some whiskey, call a friend. For God's sakes, don't let a bottle sit on the shelf staring at you like a paranoid child. Come over, have a drink, enjoy some banter, and most importantly, guys, drink curious. So, until next time when we crack open that X13, I have no idea what it's going to be. Stay safe, drink curious, and cheers.